Book review: Strangers in Time. A world romantic novel by David Baldacci, an evocative and thrilling exploration of loyalty, sacrifice, and redemption in humanity's darkest hour. David Baldacci has long established himself as master of contemporary thrillers and fast-paced political dramas, but with Strangers in Time, world romantic novel, he ventures with remarkable deftness into historical fiction. This is not merely a tale of war, espionage, but an intimate, emotionally layered narrative that poses probing questions about identity, conscience, and the human spirit. Set against the backdrop of Nazi-occupied France and war-torn London, Baldacci's novel resonates with modern relevance, capturing the chaos of war while spotlighting the quiet heroism that thrives within it. A plot built on tension and humanity at its core, Strangers in Time revolves around an urgent mission and a trio of complicated characters. Jack McCarthy, an American OSS agent desperate to redeem himself. Claire Dupont, a fearless French resistance fighter, and actor Alastair Venner, a brilliant but conflicted British scientist hiding in Paris. The three are drawn together by circumstance, but their shared journey soon reveals that their connections are logistical. They are emotional, philosophical, and ultimately transformative. The novel opens in London in 1943 with Jack McCarthy haunted by a failed mission in North Africa that cost civilian lives and is standing in the OSS. Plagued by guilt and driven by the hope of making things right, he accepts dangerous assignment. Travel to Paris and extract Dr. Venner, whose revolutionary work on early radar technology could decisively to war in the Allies' favor. But this is no simple rescue operation. Paris is tightly gripped by the Gestapo, and Venner, riddled with guilt over his invention's destructive potential, is not inclined to cooperate. To navigate the treacherous terrain of occupied France, Jack enlists the aid of Claire Dupont, resistance courier embedded within the Nazi command as secretary. Her network of operatives, forged through grit and desperation, becomes the lifeline for Jack's mission. The straightforward extraction quickly spirals into high-stakes odyssey through the shadows of Paris, the countryside, and the moral gray zones of wartime loyalty. Along the way, Baldacci paints vivid portraits of betrayal, sacrifice, and human resilience. From nighttime train rides and hushed conversations in underground cellars to brutal interrogations and desperate escapes, Strangers in Time hums with tension while never losing sight of its emotional heart. Character shaped by war. One of the novel's most compelling aspects is its character development. Jack McCarthy is far from the stereotypical hero. He is bruised, mentally and emotionally, by his past. His guilt is not window dressing. It defines him, shapes his choices, and gives his character real depth. Baldacci doesn't rush Jack's evolution. Instead, he lets him grow through hardship, through learning to trust others again, and through his connection with Claire. Claire Dupont is arguably the beating heart of the novel, Woman and Man's War. She is cunning, brave, and unflinchingly moral. Yet she is also weary, scarred by the deaths of family members, the betrayals of supposed allies, and the omnipresent threat of being discovered. Her cautious alliance with Jack transforms over the course of the story into something richer. Though Baldacci wisely resists pushing this into forced romance, instead their relationship is one respect and mutual salvation built on shared risk and empathy. Dr. Alastair Venner is perhaps the most intriguing figure. Initially presented as the package to be retrieved, he gradually becomes a symbol of the scientific and ethical quandaries posed by war. Venner's refusal to cooperate stems not from cowardice but from profound moral conflict. He has seen the consequences of his research, and he fears that in any hands, Axis are allied, it could be misused. His arc challenges the reader to confront the murky waters between duty and conscience, and Baldacci handles this philosophical tension with care. Portrait of occupation and resistance. Baldacci's strength lies not only in character but also in atmosphere. His depiction of occupied Paris is richly detailed and deeply immersive. The author captures both the dread and the defiance that characterize the period. In the court of apartment blocks where neighbors spy on each other, in the shadowy cafes that serve as hubs for resistance activity, and in the cold bureaucratic halls of the German command, the setting becomes as vivid as any of the main characters. The resistance, often romanticized in popular media, is portrayed here with stark realism. These are not uniformly noble, idealistic fighters. They are frightened citizens, grieving siblings, former school teachers, and teenage messengers who fight not because they are fearless, but because they must. Baldacci gives voice to their bravery without glossing over the cost. Torture, betrayal, and moral compromise are constant threats, and the question of how one is willing to go in the name of freedom hangs heavy over the story. Espionage with emotional stakes. Though rooted in history, the novel reads like taut thriller. Baldacci's pacing is exceptional. He intersperses quieter, character-driven moments with bursts of suspense and action. His background in writing legal and political thriller shows in the structure. Multiple plot threads converge seamlessly, and every narrative beat feels earned. Yet what elevates Strangers in Time beyond the realm of historical thriller is its emotional intelligence. Jack's inner torment, Claire's complex relationship with loyalty, and Venner's internal battle over scientific ethics are all given space to breathe. These characters are not pawns in plot-driven novel. They are the novel. Even the antagonist, SS Officer Reinhard Koenig, is more than a cardboard villain. While unquestionably cruel, he is also human, ambitious, methodical, and harboring twisted sense of order. His pursuit of Jack and Claire is relentless but never melodramatic. Koenig serves as chilling reminder of the banality of evil men whose cruelty is institutionalized, systematic, and disturbingly rational. Themes of redemption and identity. One of the novel's most enduring themes is the idea of personal redemption. Jack seeks it through action, trying to make up for past mistakes. Claire finds it through purpose in her efforts to keep fighting despite the losses she's endured. Benner searches for redemption by attempting to make his knowledge serve peace rather than destruction. These threads converge in powerful message that even amid the chaos of war, individuals have and their choices matter. There is also an underlying commentary on identity, national, personal, and moral. Jack is an American outsider in European territory, navigating unfamiliar customs and loyalties. Claire lives with false identity every day, risking exposure with each word she utters. Benner, British citizen and pacifist by nature, must confront the role his identity plays in the machinery of war. Each character in their own ways. Stranger in Time, caught between who they were and who they must become. Conclusion. A masterful blend of history and heart. Strangers in Time is a triumph not only because of its compelling plot and memorable characters, but because of its thematic richness. Baldacci does not offer easy answers. He does not turn his heroes into flawless figures or his villains into caricatures. Instead, he presents a world at war, one where moral clarity is rare and where the real victories are often internal. While Baldacci's fans initially be surprised by his foray into historical fiction, they will find much to admire here. The same narrative drive, crisp dialogue, and meticulous plotting that define his best work. What distinguishes Strangers in Time is its emotional core and historical sensitivity. It is a story of strangers who become allies, of unlikely courage, and of the enduring power of hope in the face of horror. For readers of world or Roman fiction, this novel stands comfortably alongside the works of Anthony Doerr, Kristen Hanna, and Ken Follett. It is meticulously researched, yet never bogged down by detail. Every page feels lived in, as though Baldacci walked the very streets he describes. And while it pays homage to the countless unsung heroes of the war, it does so without sentimentality, instead honoring them through truth and empathy. In short, Strangers in Time is not just a war novel or a spy thriller. It is a deeply human story, will grip you, move you, and stay with you long after you turn the final page. Rating 5/5.